What's going on, guys? I got another video for you today. This is the first Saber I've gotten done in quite some time. It's been a while. I've been pretty busy, and I've talked to some customers because I've had to delay a couple of these hilts a little bit longer than I wanted to or than I normally do. So I owe both of my customers this and then another Saber that I'm going to be recording actually directly after this. A huge thank you for kind of sticking with me and taking their time to just kind of be really patient with me while I was getting done with these. Like I said, just for sticking with me. So let me just put the blade plug in, because I forgot about that. So this is a Ben Solo lightsaber. This is the Phoenix Prop, the Light. This was done for Dana. This is the 5th or 6th one of these that I've installed, and this was definitely the most complicated install because it's not only is it a Proffie board, but it's also got a full crystal reveal. But still, it was a very fun install. I think it came out great, and I'm really excited about it. So like I said, it is a Proffie board with a Neopixel adapter, I guess, so a Neopixel blade, as well as a crystal reveal that is powered with a Neopixel singular pixel. So for perfect color matching and blade styles. And then I don't know the size of the battery. I apologize. It's one of those big beefy ones that you can get from Sabers. A 2.1 millimeter recharge port and a 28 millimeter high bass speaker here in the pommel. And then it is vented for sound. This is the weathered version. I believe that this is weathered by Artisan Effects. I'm almost positive that that's what this version is. I did have one of the sanitized weathered ones, and it didn't look like this, so that's what I'm basing this off of. But again, absolutely gorgeous hilts. I think it came out really, really well. You do have a blade plug up the top that right here that I've actually modified, that I've 3D printed an adapter for it because the old piece was too long. It's correct if you have an in-hilt LED, but it's too long actually if you use a Neopixel, because there's a ring around the inside of the emitter where this sits in. But if you put the Neopixel adapter before that on this side of it, then it doesn't make contact with the blade. So that's obviously a problem. So like I said, I printed an adapter, toss this on there, and we're good to go. So I'm going to get this booted up. For the customer, this pommel, all of these are a little bit weird because it's really short threads. So what I usually do is it's actually like a very light twist. You want to get in there as lightly as you can, because as soon as you go to push it hard, the threads bind. It's been with that with every single one of these hilts that I've worked with. So just keep that in mind. But you unthread the pommel, and your kill key is right there, so you can take it out or twist it, which is what I do, twist.
I failed you, Ben.
And then the sound in my room, for some reason my phone has been picking up the sound a little bit weird, so it might seem a little bit muffed, but it's actually it's nice in person, and the customer can always adjust it as they want via the SD card and the micro USB cable. So just to give you a little bit of a demo, I'm going to pop in a little test blade. I haven't used this one on here, so I'm not positive that it works, but it should. Yep. You can see how sensitive it is, obviously. So this is a Young Solo by KSith. So you can, your block up, your blaster, all that good stuff. This is your power on, so on, off. This is change your font, just a press.
Smooth gray.
And again, little flame blade there. You can also press and hold, and you're gonna have to go through. I'm still familiarizing myself with every single button combo, but you can press and hold for like 3 seconds, and when you do, it's kind of hard to hear it, but it starts to play a track. So you can kind of program that track to be whatever you want, because it can play in the background with your Saber.
Smooth fuzz.
red.
Ben Solo.
And then I know I have a blue flame blade on here, which is pretty cool. Something a little different. But again, normal smooth swing. So, I know, sorry, that was freaking out because it's not actually held in there right now. So, power off. But let me get the crystal reveal going because that's obviously the most exciting part about this. So in order to do that, you have to take your provided Allen key, which is pretty mangled. It's pretty bent, but you can always buy a new one. And then just in here, there's 3 screws, so... One, you always want to work on a flat surface so you don't lose these screws. Two, and then 3. So there's a few ways you can get the chassis out. You can just pull off the bottom. It's not horrible. I just personally choose not to, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to undo the bottom here, and then I'm going to take something like this. This is just a paintbrush with just like a, a decent sized bottom, and I'm going to put the kill key in, and then I'm just going to push directly on the kill key. That's not going to damage anything because it's already in all the way. And then you'll see that as I do that, it's going to push this out. And then as soon as you get there, as soon as you get to here, you can grab and pull out. And the reason I do that, I'll just take off all of this so it's not rattling around. The reason I do that is because you only have the bottom and tops connected by these 4 brass rods. And so pulling straight on that, it weakens them. But anyways, so this is your crystal reveal. This is, you have metal inserts, a handful of metal inserts in there, in brass, weathered. And then I've also painted and weathered the chassis to give it like a rusted old look. And then I also use some wire braid just to cover up the wires that run from the chassis to here. Normally I would paint over, this is kind of like glue marks, but I would normally paint over them, but it actually makes the chassis look more weathered. And so I left those things there. Like this right here almost looks like battery acid. So I just kind of like the way that those added a bit of a look. I kind of cut out a little pieces on the bottom, made it look a little, a little more like a used Saber rather than just like a perfect intricate piece. So again, you cannot duel or really do much other than light swings when it's revealed like this because it's such a sensitive piece. Again, 4 brass rods is how it's connected. But you can take out the kill key.
I've seen this raw strength only once before.
And then let me put in the blade. And I'm going to tie it in here. So you have, let me just get this in and I'll show you. Okay. So normally your kill key, or excuse me, your set screw for the blade is here. And that is not going to be used anymore. That is used to hold your Neopixel connector in. Now you have one here, which is kind of hidden by the shroud, and then another one underneath here. If you're going to use the blade plug, you can use this one. And I'll have a screw in there. It's just not in there right now. But it's short threads. So if you're going to use a blade for dueling, then you want to use this big one right here. It's got more depth that it goes in, and so it has more teeth to hold on to. So this big, thick one is for normal usage, just to keep that in mind. So you got, like I said, matching crystal with the blade. You can tell it is gonna, oops, it is gonna mimic what the blade's doing. Some of, there you go. There's like a fire, which I think is incredible looking. Some of the settings there, it's not directly matching. Again, these are a lot of stock settings with the Ben Solo font on and a couple tweaks that I've made. So again, it's an open source. You have so much programming capability that, it'll be something that you're going to want to tweak and work with. And so if something isn't the way you like it, you can talk to me, you can read up on the forums and kind of learn how this works. And again, we can work and learn together to make it the Saber that you perfectly want. So based off of that, going off of tweaking settings, there's two things you need. You are going to need a micro SD card reader, which this will be provided. This comes with the micro SD card that I purchased, so you will get this. And you're also going to need a USB to a micro USB cable. You're going to want one with a head that's not bigger than this. This one I got at Best Buy, and you want to make sure that it's capable of data transfer, not just charging. So that's important. Data transfer is necessary. And then in order to do anything to the Saber, you basically open up right here where the black piece is, and these open up here and here. There and there. And I'm not going to fully take out the crystal because it is... Gotta get that in there. It is quite a difficult... Actually, you know what? I'm going to take it out. And I'll put the crystal back in later, so just ignore the fact that you're not going to have a crystal in here anymore. You just... Oops. Just kind of got to pop it until it falls out eventually. There you go. So, removable crystal. You can toss that down. So if you look in... I'm trying to get a good angle here. If you look in here, this is how Darth Vader designed it. You have a spot where you can get access to your SD card, which you just pop out and put in here to change your sound fonts. Or you have a spot where you can plug this in, where when I do it, I usually have to bend it like this to get it in there. But you pop that in, and then you can make changes to your programming. The programming includes how your sound fonts function, the colors, the sound, the sensitivity, anything that is not just the files for the sound font, you do via the micro USB cable. And then once you're done, you can pop it back together. You do put the crystal in. It takes a little bit of work. This crystal is made to go in a specific way. You'll get the hang of it again just playing with it. But I did put a little dot there, you see? And that dot lines up with the slot directly to the right of this black cable. So when you look in, you see this slot right here. Let me try and get a picture. The slot right here. That's where that dot is going to be like visible and lined up with. And once you do that, you just take these and you close them. Close them, put the bottom back on, and you'll be good to go. Okay? Again, that's going to take some fiddling. It just is. It's just how the chassis works because it's how it is kept together. But you'll get used to it. It took me a couple minutes to do it beforehand, and now I do it in a couple seconds, So you'll get used to it. I'm not going to put this back together because that just is kind of a pain in the ass to do on video. But like I said, again, Dana, I appreciate the time you've taken, the patience you've had in working with me. It's been a pleasure, and I really do appreciate it because I've had the greatest customers, and you are no different. So, like I said, thank you. And like I said, I hope you love the Saber and everything that comes with it. And obviously, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. All right? Thank you.